Okay, we'll have some slides here. So to recognize the essence of mind, stop thinking just for a moment. What remains? A moment of clarity, ease, just being. This clarity and ease, presence are always on. We just don't notice them because we have trained ourselves to constantly focus on our thoughts, emotions, and experience. In other words, our habit is to focus on the content of mind, the images in the crystal ball, instead of the space, the nature of mind. Yeah, we all are familiar with this metaphor. It is still always, for me at least, also a joy to think of the crystal ball and reflect on its power. Because when we think of all the thoughts and emotions that we feel are not right or seem to not be the ones we should have when we are resting as open intelligence or when we are practicing short moments, and we can remember and imagine a crystal ball, because whatever it reflects, even if it's unpleasant or doesn't feel right, even, is are equal reflections of a very crystal clear crystal ball. And so it's a perfect metaphor to recognize open intelligence, the indestructibility of open intelligence, of our own mind, nature of mind, and the clarity. So this clarity, ease, and presence are always on. Here, so open intelligence is something about us that is always stable and clear. That's our mind, that's open intelligence. It cannot be affected by anything we are thinking, feeling, whatever is occurring. As the dynamic energy of open intelligence, we see something that we don't feel is right, whether that's something we've done or we are thinking, or something we see in other people, and we recognize the indestructibility, first of all, of our mind, the clarity, and how our open intelligence is unaffected. And by the power of short moments of open intelligence, all data flow on by. The here and now immediately clears itself without any effort or anything needing to be done. Just as the light of the sun outshines all planets and stars during the day, the power of open intelligence outshines thoughts, emotions, sensations, and other experiences. Another beautiful metaphor with the planets and stars. So first of all, the power of a short moment, the power of not trying to hold on to any kind of long moment. It's simply the short moment of open intelligence, all data flown by. That's the self-release of data is just inherent. Here and now immediately clears itself without effort, so we don't need to do anything about our thoughts and emotions. So that's a relief anyway. And seeing that with the light of the sun outshining the planets and stars that we can see at night, but then when the day begins, you can see less and less of them. And I always thought that's really powerful, because they don't go anywhere. They're just like naturally present stars, but the sun of open, the sun outshines, and the sun of open intelligence power outshines all data, all the thoughts and emotions that still might. We always have some kind of data going on. There's no open intelligence without data. So we're not looking for open intelligence without data, because there'll always be some kind of descriptive experience. So in open intelligence, there's a profound intelligence, and we are introduced to it right on the spot wherever we are. So that's the power. It's not that we need to get anywhere. We are gaining familiarity with it while we're training up, like training up muscles, training up the open intelligence view, the recognition, realization, and this profound intelligence that went unnoticed just by focusing on the content of mind. But it's powerful to reflect and see wherever we are, whatever's going on in our life, right here is complete open intelligence. Is open intelligence that doesn't need any add-ons. Yeah, maybe I'd like to.
Open intelligence is not lost in the data or its description. Inseparable open intelligence and its liveliness are in reality indivisible. When a datum, feeling, or thought are left as it is, spontaneously present open intelligence, the data are seen to be the power of great benefit. Likewise, when a muddy pond is left unstirred, it settles naturally into clear and clean water. Yeah, that's a great line there, right? Open intelligence is not lost in the data or its description. That means even if we feel lost, we're not really lost. Open intelligence is never lost. It always shines forth with clarity and the lucidity. It's just not recognized. So in a short moment, we're not trying to get to open intelligence or become open intelligence. We recognize and rest as our true nature. That's always present. It's just not noticed. And we notice it. We acknowledge it. We make a choice to prioritize open intelligence, innate wisdom, beneficial energy, and clarity found in open intelligence. We see how data have ruled our life and how we seek relief in good data. Yeah, that's the theme of Empowerment One, the introductory training and Empowerment One, to really recognize that so much of our life we've spent trying to manage, to fix the data. Like even with my best efforts in spiritual practices before the introduction to open intelligence, it was always with this frame of mind that I need to get rid of the like so-called negative thoughts that I thought are making me depressed or that are making me anxious or any of the other things I did not like about my experience. And that if I meditated enough, did enough yoga, found the right therapist, I would finally find that freedom from all these challenging thoughts, and I would be there, so to speak. And with the empowerments, I recognized the futility of this really, and also with that the just the incredible opportunity in every moment. That's why it's also called in the empowerments the most important choice we make. Because in then recognizing open intelligence, this entire framework, like a house of cards, just collapses in itself, and all the effort naturally self-releases because we then instinctively recognize we don't need to effort, we don't need to do anything other than relax as we are. And in that, this wisdom, the intelligence, the beneficial energy and clarity naturally open up, and we can make decisions. We can be active in the world in whatever way arises from that clarity and insight. So it's not just to rest and never do anything, including sometimes maybe even, so to speak, work on ourselves if we see that there are aspects of our lifestyle, of our relationship, or relationships with the world that would benefit from making direct changes, we can do that. And that is part of the empowerments. But the platform always is the recognition of open intelligence as already greatly complete. And from that place, we can then have that clarity and insight, the wisdom and compassion to make these changes in the world. A great practice ground are your thoughts and feelings when you think about the person or situation. We're spending so much energy on telling and listening to endless loops of stories about the situation in our mind. Next time you notice this, take a short moment and just pause. Reset. Notice that in this very moment, nothing need be done. You don't need to solve anything to be at ease. Rest as the crystal ball-like nature of mind. This is so perfect, especially in this transition period of gaining the initial confidence in open intelligence. It can be difficult in some relationships to practice when we're in the midst of it. I don't know, a loved one, a family member, somebody at work who just manages to push all the right buttons, and we don't even think about resting, or we don't want to be resting. And so then when we have these thoughts about this person, when they're not there, it's much easier to actually then notice this dynamic that plays out every time this like little thought creeps in or something reminds us of the person, the relationship. We immediately unpack the entire baggage of all the stories. And when we recognize that, and we recognize the pain and suffering we cause ourselves by emphasizing them, and then know about this choice to rest as open intelligence, to relax into our true nature, we reset. We reset, and then there is this openness, the clarity, the warmth. It doesn't need to feel the same way all the time. There is no one set of descriptions that fits open intelligence, but we become familiar with what it's like to either emphasize data and stories or to rest naturally. And then we become accustomed to that.
By the power of relying on open intelligence, it becomes increasingly obvious and data vanish naturally. Short moments of open intelligence many times become automatic. The initial short moment of open intelligence may not last long at first. There may be no real stability, may almost immediately slip away. That's why we repeat the relying on short moments many times. So this is a part of the teaching where it shows that even if the short moments are really, really short and slip away, or they're not really clear, or we don't really know what if we're doing it in the right way. So we all probably have these kinds of thoughts and experiences initially. Just we repeat the short moments many times, and we hear it a lot, and it's something that helps to remember, just to take these short moments or use the media to help remember the short moments, or have the short moments be, or open intelligence be evoked, because it naturally becomes automatic. The short moments become instinctive, automatic, and to the point where they are no longer needed. And even though they are beautiful to enjoy, but it is an instinctive recognition that open intelligence is always present. So it doesn't need any thought or any doing on our side. So this instinctive recognition, so that word instinctive is very powerful, because it's a direct experience of open intelligence being naturally present. But initially, it's simply taking short moments. I went through many kind of ideas about open intelligence and questions about short moments, and questioning my experience and how good it is, and all of that. And all of that exhausts itself. And data vanish naturally. They self-release. So the content of data at one point becomes irrelevant. So the dynamic energy of open intelligence is a constant flow, basically. So yeah, it almost immediately slips away. We just repeat it again and again till it becomes obvious. And that recognition here, it's simple. We understand it simply that all thoughts and emotions are recognized as the dynamic energy of open intelligence. They're included in open intelligence. Everything is inseparable from open intelligence. This kind of, we don't need to really think about it too much to come to an instinctive understanding. It's simply by repeating short moments. And by, for example, going through the empowerments, as many are once here doing, that becomes naturally and instinctively obvious. And yeah, given that open intelligence is free of the need to alter the natural flow of appearances, it is important to relax and let everything be as it is. We are at our most powerful in our daily activities for letting things be as they are. So the energy we put into trying to rearrange, manage our thoughts and emotions, manage other people's thoughts and emotions, hope and fear guides lots of our actions, impulses. So all of that kind of energy comes to rest naturally, and there doesn't feel that urgent need to alter anything about the appearances. In knowing that open intelligence and the complete well-being is right here, and the powerful energy is available to respond also to situations. Because resting as open intelligence in short moments does not mean that we are passive or don't change anything. And that's the empowerments guide very clearly through that even though we instinctively rest as open intelligence, it also has a power to respond. And that's what that sentence means. We are at our most powerful in our daily activities. The open intelligence is the power to know, the power to do, to see, and using our mind, speech, and our qualities to be of benefit to all. So let all data flow along naturally, without trying to alter their course in any way. Fear, anger, data about work, relationship, money, and food continue to arise. It's important to know that the arising of these are not evidence of non-recognition of open intelligence. We increasingly understand and recognize that all data streams are open intelligence only. This gives rise to well-being and joy. So that becomes this part of the 12 empowerments here, these kinds of texts that guide us to allowing everything to be as it is. We hear that and it makes sense, but it's not often easy to let everything be as it is when there are very strong afflictions. So the support to recognize open intelligence and allow difficult data like fear, anger, data about work, relationship, money, food, we can see how these can be very afflictive. So it's like in short moments, we are supported in that. I'll take one more and then we can have shares here. Open intelligence, complete perceptual openness in all experience. It is freedom in immediate perceptions rather than being focused on stories. The whole field of perception opens up in open intelligence to include all perceptions, all data. It is not gained through thinking about open intelligence or through reasoning. It is gained by the direct perception that all data are inseparable from open intelligence, by the instinctive recognition. So perceptions like are data, and I love that open intelligence is complete perceptual openness. There's an openness, allowing everything to be as it is, like that open, wide, spacious, open intelligence. Lets all data be as it is. And it is freedom in immediate perception. And I always wanted to look for freedom. It was, I felt it was somewhere else than where I was. So that's why traveling felt always good, because that felt freedom. But usually data, they travel with you, and it is clear that the freedom is not in data. You all come to that conclusion that can't be held in place. So the freedom in immediate perception, freedom in each data is right here, rather than using our mind to focus on all the stories, even stories about freedom, stories about positive data, or the stories around negative data, trying to fix them in some ways. So there we have the instinctive recognition that is the ultimate freedom. It's a short moment, the ultimate freedom. Okay, I think I'll pause here for today. Yeah, it's nice to be together, nice to see everyone. Let's see if there are any questions or maybe shares around how short moments is going, how it's going for the empowerment. Yes, Laura?
Is it the right time for questions?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, I'm a little flummoxed by this statement that contains the words independent existence, as in nothing having. This is not to assert that it does. It's just I can't imagine what is meant by something having independent existence.
Yeah.
Can you help clarify that some?
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Well, I think it's I'll share everything. Well, we wouldn't have any kind of thoughts or emotions if we weren't aware, right? It's like clear that we need to be aware of something to be, yeah, that's all we can say. When we try to think about it, it's very hard to make complete sense, right? Because we can see there are things and our thoughts and emotions. So the metaphors were probably the closest for something to be instinctively understood. And then the practice itself, even though that term, how nothing has an independent nature, makes sense, because we think, well, how can it have no independent nature when it's just right there? Or a thought is right, it has a power, right?
Things tend to persist.
Then they persist. Yeah, it comes again and again, and it feels like it's not going anywhere. That's what you're saying? It's persisting.
So that really gives a feeling of independent existence.
Yeah.
Look away from it, look back, it's still there.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why I find that statement of no independent existence apart from awareness.
Yeah, it can feel puzzling. I would suggest radically to not think about it.
Well, all right then.
Right. Good. Just don't think about it. I don't think you will get anywhere with
No,
it.
I don't think so also.
Yeah. Yeah, good. I think that clarifies it. And if I try to explain it, I don't think it will really help. But what helps is, so it's not like, oh, it's completely doomsday because we can never understand it. It's more like, okay, so I'm not going to think about it. And this is really what I told myself. I naturally am not too inclined to think about things. You know, I am. Jochen could maybe also speak because he's very inclined to think about things, if I may say so. But then you know, sometimes I also thought about things and it just didn't make sense, and I often got confused about that. The metaphors like the breeze in the air, for example, was something where I could see, oh, okay, the breeze and the air are inseparable. I can see that that open intelligence is needed to know, awareness, what we use open intelligence to know every kind of thing that I experience. So that's as far as it goes. But then to just let it be, not think about it, and take short moments. Continue to practice. This will become very clear in your own experience. For me, it's then crystal clear how that is now. Doesn't have an independent nature, but also that just from the direct experience, not from thinking. Yeah. Yep. So that's maybe also relief that that's not necessary to find what you're looking for. Yeah.
Can I come in, please?
Do you want to share your experience there? Mark?
Yeah, go on. Yeah, I finished the empowerments last Sunday, 12 empowerments, and what a ride! What a ride! The last 2 weeks of the empowerment, as you guys know, my appendix burst and I nearly died. I had an emergency operation and I'm back from the grave, baby. And I was in hospital for 8 days on the hospital ward, and I was in quite a bit of pain, and I was trying to rest with the pain, and I was actually using, the experience as an opportunity to try, well, to test out resting in the midst of whatever was appearing, and it couldn't get any more intense, shall I put it, as the level of pain was probably a 10. It was pretty full on. But I just wanted to pick up on what Lawrence was saying then about the independent nature of thoughts. Yeah. When I started off on the empowerment and I learned about the balanced view, the teachings, and before I signed up for the empowerment, I was watching and listening to Candace for about a month. And um, what I was realizing was that my fundamental nature that we all share, it's not separate, is that we are the open space of open intelligence, or whatever label you want to put on it. That's what we all are. The bodies, my body, your body, all the bodies are appearing within it, made out of the open intelligence. So also the thoughts are as well. The thoughts are also made out of it, because nothing is separate from that. So what I found was, when I started off, I thought that by learning the empowerments and working through them, that life would get so much better and be blissful, and it would like sunshine and rainbows and everything would be great. Basically, what the teaching is, and this is fundamental, and what you were saying then, Lawrence, is the thought's still there. The thought is still there. The thought's still there. The thought does not go away, brother. It does not go away. This is not about changing the thoughts. We don't have the power to change them. All this is about is resting as what you are, and whatever shows up, whether it be a good thought, a repetitive thought, a negative thought, realizing that you are the observer of them, and then their power, whether it be positive or whether it be negative, I'm so sad, whatever it may be, loses its power, because you're now seeing that you are the space in which they appear. And the more you rest as the space, the more you see that these thoughts can't harm me. They're not afflictive. They don't have a real solid nature. They're just appearing as space within me. I am the space. Once you let them be, they just dissolve by themselves. The reason that I was using the analogy of what happened in the hospital was it wasn't such a bad thing that I couldn't change the pain. I couldn't change the thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die. You know, them thoughts, them thoughts were there. There was nobody thinking them. They just appeared and then they disappeared. They appeared and then they disappeared. They appeared and then they disappeared. But the most fundamental realization is you're not going to stop them, and they're not going to harm you. They're not going to harm you. They're not negative. They're not bad in any way. They're just appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing. The sensations of pain appear. No one can change that. This is not about changing that. This is not about not having pain. It's not about that. Pain will be there. It's part of what is appearing in that moment. But it's just allowing it to be there. That is what this is all about. It's realizing that what appears is gonna appear. There's no one that can stop that. But what is appearing in you, the empty space that it's appearing in, is made out of the space. It's not harmful. It's just what is unfolding in the moment. The more that I sat with it, I realized that I couldn't get rid of the pain. The pain was going to stay there.
Mm.
I couldn't stop it from being a 10. I couldn't move it to a 9. The only thing that was going to change that was morphine. That was the only thing that was going to change it. And it did. But what there was a realization was that once the pain left me and I started to get better and I healed and then I left the hospital, that experience showed me, even though it shook me up, and I realized just how fickle and how fleeting life is. That moment, if you can rest when these things show up, when I say rest, I don't mean like you're just in some beautiful state and it's all bliss. It's just the understanding, that split moment of understanding what this is 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 not the way I used to view it. It's completely shifted. It's now got a lightness, even though it was painful. But even pain is only a label. It's just a sensation. Like it's just an amorphous sensation appearing in the empty space that the mind is labeling as pain. This is intense pain. Is it really? Or is it just a sensation that's just appearing in me? I am the space that without me, without the space, the pain could not be. I give the pain life, and it's only pain because the mind says it's pain. It's just a sensation. It's just appearing. And the more you rest as that, whatever appears will dissolve. It just naturally just dissolves. I don't know whether I got that over well there.
I think you
It's
did. I think you did. Well,
it's
you're
me
sharing your
clear.
experience, and I mean, you had a very strong experience now with what happened to you. That of
It's seeing that nothing is independent. It's seeing that the thoughts are not negative thoughts. These thoughts that are constantly going. It's like, well, I'm resting as you know, as the open space. So why are these thoughts still there? Them thoughts will not stop. Them thoughts will not change. Them thoughts will still be there. But now you're seeing that they're not bad thoughts. They're not negative. They're not positive. They're just appearances. They're just appearances, and that's where the beauty in the empowerment is. Once this starts to become like part of your life, even though when I come out of the hospital, I was felt so depressed. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I nearly died. You know, I nearly died. It was so close. Even the surgeon, the next morning, he said to me, Mark, you don't know how close you come. You're so lucky that you came in when you did. Because of my pride, I was thinking, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not going to the hospital until I had to go, until I couldn't even breathe with the pain. It was that bad. I was forced. But the point I'm making is to get back to what Lawrence was saying about the independent nature of the thought, and it's there again, and it's there again. You can't stop them, Lawrence. You can't stop them, brother. This is not about changing them. They can't be changed. It's about seeing them for what they are, for seeing that they're all just an appearance. And once you focus on what you are and not the thought, once you become the space that the thoughts are like that the thoughts are in, the thoughts just disappear. They just dissolve. And when they come back again, it's like, oh, here's that thought back again. It's not a negative thought. It's not something that is gonna harm me. It's just an appearance. Just like a sensation, like a painful sensation in my stomach. Oh God, no, my appendix is bit. Oh no, the mind's going, the mind's going. Resting under them circumstances was hard. But once the pain started to ease up a bit, it was like, okay, there you go. And then I could just go back to resting again. And then I come out and it was like, oh, I'm depressed. Oh God, what's going on? But then I've had a little bit of time now to just sit and just rest and just see that. Firstly, you're not going to change the depressive thoughts because because there's no way to change them. They just appear. They're just thoughts. They're just telling a story. You can't change the thought. You can't change the story. All you can do is see it for what it is. And that's when it loses its power. Once you see it, it's just an appearance with no independent nature. It doesn't have an independent nature. Therefore, it can't harm you. It is this empty space. It is you. It is you.
Oh
That's
yes, that's
what the
really
point is. That's what I think it. That's what I learned
yeah.
from going into hospital and from the stage that I was at with the empowerment and yeah. So long may it continue. It was a moment in time. There's still thoughts there and stories. I nearly died. Oh God, and I've got to get back and work, and I've got to get this done. I've got to get that done. But the more you just rest, you know, as my teacher Jochen has told me countless times, and he sent me countless video messages, the audio messages that he sent me. This is about resting, no matter what shows up, and seeing whatever shows up for what it truly is in the moment. That's where the juice is.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing.
You are
That's
welcome. You are welcome.
amazing. Yeah, you had I'm glad that you're here,
Well,
first
so
of
am
all.
I.
So
So am I.
we are very happy. And then your
Back from the
share,
grave.
we can see the beneficial power and everything that you had to experience and your shares. So, and really powerful, how you shared it was so challenging, and you applied the teaching and all the instructions that 12 empowerments were there with you, and all the support, and yeah, so thank you. And then the lightness, even though there's excruciating pain, even though you said that in a moment, and that's the instinct, yeah, that's the recognition. So it's beautiful, and even our own experience, we can't totally, explain. It's just like each of us have different experiences, and also it is the teaching alive. Especially those situations make it very alive.
Just a bit.
Yeah. So thank you. Well, that's
welcome. You are most welcome.
Powerful. Yeah. So yeah, it's like our life is the perfect situation to realize open intelligence, exactly how it is. That's what it doesn't mean that we don't wish these extreme circumstances for anybody. And obviously then it is what it is, what we have to face. We never know what comes tomorrow, right? We never know what comes today. And so we know but what we can rely on. Yeah. Yes, good. Okay, let's see if we have Jochen, is there something that you wanted to say? Okay. And yeah, anyone else who has maybe a question or anything? It's nice to see you, Gillette. How are you doing? If I,
Yeah, no, I'm doing good.
you're doing good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know too much what to say about like my current experience, but yeah, I'm just similar to what like Mark was experiencing, I guess, just like realizing it's not really about changing nothing, and just like you still have like the same like sort of like afflictive thoughts and that here and there, but it's like just like feeling ease, like even throughout that. Yeah, it's ease most of the time.
Good. Good. It's nice to hear from you. But yeah, the ease, yeah. Because you finished the 12 empowerments now, right?
Now basically I'm like empowerment 12, but I just got like I got to answer the questions and stuff like that.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so I'm basically at the finish line now.
Yeah. Nice.
Hello, do you hear me?
Hello? Yes.
So I can't share my video. It is on, but doesn't function, I see.
Yeah.
Thank you for our telco on Tuesday, and I would like to share my experience. Saturday, I wanted to hear on YouTube with a question in my mind, what are short moments? What do I have to do? And I didn't get directly or immediately an answer, so I get angry and I put it off. But on Sunday evening, I had a crisis. I felt very lonely and frightened before the week was starting, and in that moment there was not somebody there, as I was used to talk to somebody. It was not possible, so I put on the YouTube 12 empowerment and just listening and remembering also our talk on Tuesday, and I felt connected. And yes, peace come directly. And suddenly I had this image. I think it was from this group. Somebody told a story. I suddenly saw me as the screen. Like in cinema, there's a screen and the story. And I could really, this was a very good picture for me. Yes, and I felt like the screen, and then there is the story. And it's not, it wasn't bothering me anymore. I felt directly peace, and So I could get up and could clean the kitchen, what I was not able to do before because I was so sad. It was very heavy and a very heavy emotion and very painful. So this one was a very good experience.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing also. That's very good to hear. Powerful. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's what we also, that's where the Four Mainstays, that's the support system we get to know here. That means all open intelligence, but there are different ways of supporting a short moment with listening or remembering something from the meetup or having support directly from a trainer or just having short moments, remembering it in any form. Yeah, beautiful. And you have these for mainstay support, like any moment, any circumstance, or especially in difficult situations, it can sometimes be very obvious. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kathy, can you thanks for all the shares, they're wonderful. Can you comment on the idea of boredom? What boredom actually might be, or it seems to arise. And I don't think it's boredom, but I don't know really how to. And I know it's an arising, but it's kind of it's tricking me
It's tricking you into what?
into thinking there's something wrong, or um, uh, I should be doing something.
Mm. Yeah. Did you try testing out, like taking a short moment or reading some of the text or listening to the talks while you feel like maybe it has also sensations, probably, right? It has something feels wrong,
Uh-huh.
right? And we might label it boredom, or we feel it in our body, and we could describe it in many ways or what it all means, but just feeling it as it is, like something that feels wrong, and boredom, we label it. We might feel it in our body somewhere. Maybe it feels even heavy or uncomfortable. Taking a short moment there and allowing it to be feeling wrong as well. You don't need to actually do something about that. And something feeling wrong seems often like a big urgency that we need to understand it even.
Mm-hmm.
Either understand what's happening or get rid of it. So when we try to understand something, it's also out of the motivation to feel better. So that's something that will become more clear in the 12 empowerments, when we really see what we are doing with things that appear. Basically, we are sometimes trying to understand something in order to feel relief. Mm-hmm. Which,
Well,
yeah, please.
well, the second I'm on the third empowerment, and the boredom appears, but the thing that's appearing across the board is this idea of and this sensation, like there's something wrong. There's always been something wrong, and it translates into a sensation. And I didn't realize how pervasive it was, utter pervasive. And so everything's just been wrong the entire existence. And I can see it and feel it, like, and I'm like, there's nothing wrong. And just resting, it's like, but it's like, it's been there my entire life. I don't know if that's.
That makes, yeah, thank you for
Right.
sharing. That's something that, yeah, I think many of us can relate to that, yeah, in one way or another. You see also some nodding here when you look. And It's what also happens when you are going through the empowerments now. You are actually noticing more. Yeah. So this happens in the empowerments that you actually could feel and notice more, like things that were underlying or we tried to so suppress or not notice, that we were distracting us with different kinds of antidotes, basically, to not feel this pain, actually, right? It's like, it feels painful when we feel really wrong, when something about us feels wrong. It can go very deep. And so you're feeling yourself and all beings, really, that, but you're feeling very much yourself. So the data so strongly. And yeah, you're in empowerment 3, so you're actually like, these kinds of data will be now your, yeah, I wanted to say your friends, but it doesn't feel like it. But you're taking them through the empowerments. You're going with these kinds of strong data that are with us all our lives, right? They better are friends at one point, because we are with them. We're hanging out with them, basically.
But I love what you said, because it's crazy, because that's been the entire existence, and I didn't notice it. All the antidotes and the defense against it, but wow, it's like wow, and it's very painful, really painful, but I can see it now. It's it'll be okay. It is okay.
Yeah, you're actually recognizing it right now,
Yeah.
already. Yeah.
Like, wow, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
thank
Well,
you.
that's great, because we've used so much energy and so much hardship and suffering to actually fight against it, even not knowing what it is also. Like, that's already, because we are so like, we don't even know. We didn't have never a chance to actually see it, because we were immediately trying to hide it and defend. It's so scary. So it actually gives a moment of seeing. And then the empowerments will take you very clearly through that now. After empowerment 3, it actually starts. So, well, it started before, but 4 goes really into that. And but it will be a gentle way. Everything is gentle. We are always going to the next empowerment when we are naturally ready. And 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 but it's very obvious, you're seeing already, making friends instead of being in a war. Yeah, with ourselves. Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing so openly. Mm-hmm. Okay. See if there's anything before we pause here today. And okay.
I could say something.
Yes, Tina. Yes, I was just thinking you like.
I had it definitely when you're talking about war with yourself. Yesterday, I was going to work, and just a simple thing, my keys always seem to be a big issue for me, and so I ended up doing this thing, jumping back and forth between my home and whatever, and realizing that, uh, you know, that the keys were there all along and all those kind of things, but the self-recrimination came up, and I'm just like banging the steering wheel. I'm getting really upset with myself. But then I'm also taking these moments at the same time. And so normally I would just get really upset and just like, and I did do those moments. And then I just felt such relief after, like, and then it just left. It just left so quickly. It was really, it was great, but I wanted to, the ego or whatever wants to grasp on to that self-recrimination or that judgment. So it's it's like this kind of struggle between taking restful moments and then no, I need to be upset with myself.
Right, right. And you're smiling now. Yes, that's amazing. Yeah, yes, that's a great example. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like just a habit. It's such a habit to
Yeah.
focus on these negative
Yeah.
self-loathing and negative
Yeah.
data. It's very, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm really appreciative of what Mark said today about this space. I think I really got it on a whole different level today, and thank you so much, Mark, for that. It was just I really realized today that I'm space, and that's because I've been struggling with that a little bit and just keep letting it go. But there's a new profound awareness, which is fantastic.
Hmm. Thank you for sharing. Well, thank you, everyone. It was very special. It was very nice to be together, see you all, and hear from you. Mhm.
Thank you, Kati. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
you so
Thank
much.
you.
So nice to
Thank
see you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Stay
you.
well.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.